Hi friends, Deanna Williston with Our Blooming Catholic Life. Here is my current hermit crab setup. You can see they've got two of these really deep water pools, which are actually small critter keepers that are submerged. They've got rocks in the bottom, they've got a bubbler, they've got a great ramp, but what they need is cleaned. Now, when you use the small containers, you normally double up, like two small plastic containers, double them up. You take out the top one, empty it, bring it back, and the space in the sand is held by the second container, right? The bottom one. That's obviously not happening with this larger container. So what did I do? I got one of these great little suction devices here for cleaning tanks. Back in the day, we would just use a little piece of aquarium tubing. You'd stick one end in the funky water and one end on your mouth and suck on it until the water came out, and that's disgusting. So now they have these great things. Let's look at it. It's got a tube, feeder tube at the bottom. You can see there's actually keeps any of the larger stones or anything from going in. It's got that little filter there. So this is going to go into that water tank, and obviously the water is going to come through the tube, but instead of sucking on the end, it's got this handy little pump to get it started. And you just prime the pump and it will work. As well, there's a clip so that I can actually clip this on wherever I want to the side of the tank. I'm going to try and do that now. I'm going to get this all set up and show you that. One of the things I'm going to show you quick is I have that feeder end down and ready to suck out the older water, but I do have it. Try and close my lid as much as I can. I actually put the blankets back over top. Those are the nighttime blankets. I put it back over top to keep most of the hot air from escaping. And then let's just come down here. Look, here's my bucket. There you go. Bob's your uncle. Going to be done in a second. It actually goes so fast, I have to be really quick at stopping it. God bless, friends. Bye. Hey, friends. So just a few quick tips on using that siphon pump in your hermit crab tank. Number one, follow all the manufacturer's directions. Two, make sure you don't have any like power strip or anything nearby where you're going to be doing this, because you don't want to accidentally mix electricity and water. That's not good. So you've got to look at your setup. If you have to, unplug something or move it so that you can do the cleaning. What else? The bucket needs to be lower than the tank for this to work. It's just how it works. So same thing when you go to clean the siphon. I can put the siphon in some water in the kitchen sink, but my bucket or receiving end still has to be down on the floor. So that's a tip. What else? Again, it goes really quick. So you're really going to want to monitor how much water you're taking out and make sure you have that much fresh, clean water to put in. And when I say fresh, there's another tip. You may want to start, evaluate. So sometimes I like to start with the freshwater tank and move to the salt water. That way I'm not contaminating the fresh water with salt. Sometimes, though, the freshwater tank, for whatever reason, my hermit crabs tend to defecate in that one the most, so it's gross. So I don't necessarily want to do that one first. So it may be easier to do the saltwater one and give it a quick rinse and then go do the funkier freshwater tank. What else there? You're going to have to consider where you're going to hang that bad boy up to dry. You're never going to be able to completely dry it after you clean it and rinse it. Also, you're going to have to transport it from wherever you're cleaning the tank to where you're going to clean the hose to where you're going to dry the hose. And you need to think about that. One easy tip is just to carry it upside down. So have the pump and the siphon tips both up in your hand and let there be a loop so that the water really isn't dripping anyway. That's my top tip on transporting it. But you could also put it in another bucket or plastic bag would work. I tend to dry mine. I hung it in the shower for a while, and I'll say the husband and son were completely grossed out by that one. So I now hang it up in the basement where nobody cares. If you have a shop sink, it could be a great place. Maybe you can put a hook above your shop sink to put that up there and use it. Again, the first time I used it, I really only had to give that pump one little squeeze and it started working great. It takes longer now, but you saw it's like 5-6 pumps and it's ready to go. I do have larger gravel, not really gravel. I have rocks that are, you know, 1 inch to 2 inches big at the bottom of the hermit crab tank, as well as some seashells. Oh, so that's another top tip. Make sure none of those shells in the bottom of your water tanks or near it. Make sure there's no live hermit crabs in the water dish before you start it. And again, you want to be as quickly in and out as you can so you don't have too much heat escaping. So you probably want to have your water primed, salted, whatever it needs, ready to go. And if you take out too much, it's okay. I do it earlier in the day because my hermit crabs are really only active at night. So like my saltwater tank, I gauged it really well, but my freshwater tank, I took out more. Again, it's a little funkier, so I took out more water. I took out more water than I had primed and ready to go. So I went ahead and closed the tank up, and I can wait an hour or two, let the heat recover, and then try it again. I'm going to add the water later and do it more quickly. So that fresh water will be fine. It'll be up to level by the time the little guys come out to use it. Those are my top tips for cleaning the water tanks. If you've got any, this is just a weekly maintenance. If you've got any other tips, let me know. That is the hermit crab water tank kit that I got from Josh's Frogs. Let's see. There's a few additions I think I've made to it. And again, I had to purchase that siphon separately. But that's all. Again, follow manufacturer's instructions and use your common sense, remembering most of all that water and electricity don't mix. Oh, one more tip. If you've got another pet like a dog, that bucket of water is going to be tempting. So you may be tempted to leave the bucket of water, go clean the siphon quick and come back. But if you have a pet like a dog who drinks water out of random bowls and things, you may want, this one here that I'm using is an old bird seed container, and it has a lid. So I can actually shut the lid and walk away so the dog's not drinking from it. Yeah, or you could just deal with that first, whatever. But give that a consideration. Oh, my God bless you, friends. May God bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and to be gracious unto you. And may the good Lord bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.